Hey guys, yeah, you can see it up there, pretty prominent, half cut off. It's about his reaction video, again from the demonstration in Pirna. Let me introduce my friend Axel Reitzel. Greetings, Axel. Blue and wine, red and teacher Saku.
Yes, two ties. Teachers rarely wear two ties, but you
It will be remembered by me as
education officers somehow expose the accountability here. But I can live with it, and with the help of a good therapist, a lot of alcohol and psychiatric medication, I'll get over it eventually. But
thanks anyway, very nice, but I doubt that's the right way. But Axel, you'll probably only get through this video with a certain amount of irony and sarcasm. And yes, I'll leave the rest to you. I have to tell you, I watched this video and there's someone in it whom I called Erwin. In this stream, and after this stream, a lot of people contacted me and said, that's not Erwin. So it was funny, everyone thought it was funny how Erwin gets upset and Erwin has trouble thinking. You can see the gears turning. I'm sorry, I don't mean that in a bad way. That may be too politically sensitive. That's why I don't want to question his intelligence. But maybe being able to respond quickly to questions and being spontaneous, that's what makes a good politician. First of all, being fundamentally very quick-witted.
adapting quickly to new situations isn't easy for everyone, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. But then you should really ask yourself if this is the right path for you, if you're already failing at the first hurdles.
Yes, and what I always find amazing is that we have... So we're going to take a look in a moment. These are always sequences that I've picked out here. Two sequences, and then we'll take another look. Who is Erwin? Yes, and one thing that Axel and I pointed out early on, we'll show that today as well. That these people who go out on the streets and demonstrate for peace, joy, and sunshine, that it's really not quite like that. First, Axel, let me introduce Erwin to you.
I'm curious.
Again, I simply took the kids to the demonstration for some reason.
He's an honorable guy, yeah, so I have to jump in right here. Philip Ney.
Excuse me?
That's not Irvin, it's Markin, and he...
Is an honorable guy. I'm sorry, that's not Erwin. Yeah, Markin, we'll introduce Erwin in a moment. I'm sorry. Right, before this gets misinterpreted. So,
Here, right?
careful, I'm sorry. Axel, as we've said many times at this demonstration, I don't want to repeat it. I'm repeating myself a bit. And of course, I don't want to go through the whole demo again. I've already reacted to it. It's awful to always bring kids to demonstrations with drums, shouting, and police. And here there are really children, some of them preschool or elementary school age, involved.
Not only is it extremely dangerous to take children to such demonstrations where they simply don't belong, it's also just an unbearable indoctrination. Yes, children should be raised in a value-neutral way. Of course, they also receive values from their parents, but they should decide for themselves if they want to join a demonstration and not be dragged along from childhood. I find that really, really terrible. That's indoctrination. That's what I think. No matter the side, I find it terrible, especially since neo-Nazis often do this with their ideology. Then the whole clan, they have to be brought up in line from the very beginning, and that's just really, really, really terrible.
I don't understand. Ma'am, how did that impact you? She's from kindergarten? Yes.
That's when Elwin slowly sneaked into the picture. Stefan Trautmann, also Elwin, wants to get Markin's attention right away, which he will get immediately.
Maybe he should have skipped a yogurt or two, right?
Axel Kine. Ever since I quit smoking, I've actually put on almost 10 kilos.
That's why I'm allowed to say that. But I have to say this in this context. I don't care what someone looks like. It doesn't matter to me at all. We also strongly defended Ricarda Lang when she faced hateful attacks solely for her appearance. But these people move in a scene that actually always wants to embody and demand a completely different view of humanity. Namely here, HP Krupp means steel, fast as greyhounds, tough as leather. Yes, the German, he has to be strong and masculine and manly, with steeled muscles, carrying the anvil in one hand, and on the other side, the sword broadly shouldered in front of him. And you just have to
Completely new. Always Axel. They look.
really like the image they love to promote, right?
Axel, I'm always surprised that in a spontaneous speech, you're much better than 95% of the speakers who are active in right-wing extremism. It's not hot.
It's easy. We could hold a contest like that sometime. I never prepare. We watch some kind of Nazi demonstration, and then you give me the task to give a better speech with some ridiculous terms than those idiots with their readout notes.
Axel, I don't need to set that challenge here because I know how it will turn out. You've proven that many times on the channel already. But now let's take a quick look at Erwin.
How can that be? How is that possible? Excuse me? One question. What about the child? Is that responsible? What do you think? Why? Isn't that a bit loud and dangerous? Child endangerment.
You're the one making it dangerous because you're provoking people here because you want exactly that reaction from people.
I have to say, dear Stefan Ego-Erwin, Stefan is absolutely right about that. Markant, he's endangering the children here by just calmly and objectively walking alongside and asking whether he thinks it's okay for a small child to be dragged along to this Nazi march. So that's an escalation that Markant is bringing into this event. Armageddon is nothing compared to this. I think the end of the world is already looming.
Please do the same. Start your conversation and create a situation that you can film, trying to make it look like violence is coming from us, even though that's not the case.
So he's claiming now that it's your fault things are escalating here, that it's your fault because you're engaging people in conversation, which then leads to violence, which isn't happening. That...
Axel, what?
Huh?
Axel, you know that, right? I am...
Stupid. It's still early. Oh, I have no idea anyway, but that sounds a bit like he's just saying something that won't even happen, so it's just bullshit.
Axel, if only you had gotten deeper into the scene earlier. Yeah, always. Your superficiality is finally catching up with your little feet. Yes, someone has to say it now. The logo that this young man is wearing on his sweater hunt, we can identify it like this.
That's the arrow of the young nationalists who no longer want to be called young national democrats. He doesn't look that young now, but I think the JN is glad for anyone who still wants to join and take part in this leftover corner of right-wing extremism.
And Axel, guess which tiny party Erwin is actually working for?
If he's a young nationalist, he must support the Homeland Party. There's no other option, right?
Well, that's what you'd think, but of course he's with the Free Saxons.
I could have guessed if I'd known they were in Saxony. If you'd mentioned that, it would have been obvious. Because the Free Saxons are basically the only stronghold left that still keeps the homeland alive. Peter Schreiber has become the new party chairman of the Heimat, and at the same time, he is also an official of the Free Saxons. The party's balance of power has now shifted dramatically. Centered in Saxony, the Free Saxons always come before the Heimat. That's nothing new. Heimat itself now only sees itself as a result of its necessary restructuring as a network that is active in the pre-political sphere. They know we basically can't win against the AfD, and that's why they're now retreating a bit to the last thing they can still manage somehow with their 5 men. Axel.
Not only that, and here he's speaking very clearly about where the violence comes from. Maybe let's go over it again briefly. Look,
They do what they can, that violence comes from us, but that's not the case. That's exactly why they go at people like that. Normally they're supposed to stand to the left and right, as they should, and then wait. Serious press would wait, would talk to the organizers, not like they do, filming people here, harassing them. But they see all nice, friendly people here.
Yes, the serious press, they stick to the leadership structure here. Yes, it's not like every single participant comes out here at that moment to carry a position, a slogan, or a worldview in front of them. That's something we also ask ourselves again. Yes, also ask as a topic. That's always something we keep asking. That's also a topic, the real difficulties, those are theoretical difficulties that actually never happen.
It's excellent fire, Erwin, really tough, watch out. Yeah, Erwin really got himself into it. Stefan Trautmann really put himself in the victim role, but here it is.
This video,
Of course I know this video, it went viral back then, and here's the comment about it. Stefan Trautmann, a right-wing extremist, is running for district administrator in central Saxony for the Free Saxons this Sunday. On May 1, 2022, he took part in the attack on May Day demonstrators in Gladau. Now just take a look. How peaceful it actually is. Stefan Trautmann is in his political role. Look, do you know him?
that could be the killer belly Stefan Trautmann here, right?
Well, but that always sounded quite...
Yeah, but you have to understand now. This attack became necessary because the people present there whom he tried to approach with violence. They probably just asked participants at such a demonstration what they were doing there. That's unacceptable. They must talk to the demonstration leader or face consequences.
So Axel, it's not over yet. I paused it because it's actually funny. He has a great disguise. Stefan Trautmann has problems with thinking. He thought he was disguised and pulled up his hood, not realizing it only covered the back of his head, which didn't matter. Now he's looking into the train, notices he's being filmed. Watch out, Axel.
But the question I'm asking myself here first is, which one of these geniuses is actually 1,000 times smarter? To record something like this, to film right in his face with his pseudo disguise, and then to post it online?
Those were the anti-fascists from the train.
Did he not get that, or is he just looking through a window?
He missed that. See how it continues. I know how it continues. See what he's doing now. Now he realizes he just committed a serious crime. Watch out.
Camera away.
Okay,
I can't do this anymore. And then when I saw that, I thought, how stupid can you be? And he just said, I can.
Yeah, but it's a serious breach of trust. But he's a very forgiving person. You can see it's all lies. Yeah, it's all slander. Yeah, that the brave national forces in Germany, these sincere patriots, could have anything to do with violence or criminal acts, even in the slightest. Philip, that's all fake news. That's lies from those unreliable press hacks spreading this to halt the national movement's advance. All lies, don't believe anything. This video is a deep fake. It's all artificial intelligence generated by Aaron Stefan. He would never do something like that under any circumstances. And now I'm giving you the challenge. Show me if he might have gotten into trouble with the law somewhere else. I can't imagine that at all, because if that were the case, it would be an absolute first. In this law-abiding patriot scene, where no one could even remotely be connected to any kind of criminal activity, it is...
Axel, challenge accepted. This is over for now. Yeah, so... And that's us. I just need to...
Oh, Axel?
Don't look yet. What does it say? Free Saxon Stefan Trautmann banned for fraud? No, that's fake, not true.
No, those were Syrians who made a mask for themselves after watching Mission Impossible and wanted to discredit Stefan Trautmann individually with it. I really can't imagine that. And in the 15 years I was in this scene, I never saw even the slightest hint of any criminal activity. No, but seriously, folks, that's where the sarcasm ends. That's really intense. Yeah, the way these people present themselves with such confidence, acting like they're the decent Germans who have nothing to do with anything, it's all just fake news. It's always someone else's fault, and they're the real criminals, losers. They're the real whiners themselves. And you could say, well, that happens in other parties too. Yes, but not to the same extent, because this scene is made up of people like that. Now, this scene puts those people on a pedestal, makes them leading activists, makes them candidates. If things go badly, they could even end up in some parliament somewhere, deciding the fate of a community or municipality. Man, ouch.
So far, I've only faced hostility and haven't been welcomed. I also don't see anyone here, so you're lying as usual. I don't see anyone here attacking you. You're even being tolerated.
Wait.
The hostility is just German language. You, as a loyal nationalist, should understand that. Yes, to be hostile doesn't necessarily mean to be attacked physically, but maybe for you, there's not such a big difference.
They blend into the crowd, fill the child. Hey, move over there, attention.
This scene came later. That was when Erwin Stefan Trautmann, then some young girls with black, white, red and National Democratic Party flags or whatever, who then took pictures with the Free Saxons flags and thought it was great. Even the young girls already had something, and Erwin is already in his mid-30s. Yeah, you don't want to assume that that's mean, but yeah, that's how it is here. Flash, flash, flash. He
is still obviously with the JN group, otherwise he wouldn't be wearing that oversized jacket. But you also have to understand, Philip, in the national movement, there's the principle, whoever swears allegiance to the German flag has nothing left that belongs to him. That's why it's completely different when, as a national activist, he films the young girls' faces as they put on their hilarious flag show here. It's completely different when he films a demonstration with little children marching. Yeah, when he's filming around there, he gives that to the deep state and the elites. Yeah, and then they commit arson attacks.
Axel thought about it even more simply. They take their children with them. At demonstrations, it's obvious that the press is there, all those demonstration videos. That's also a development we've only seen in the last 1 or 2 years, these demonstration videos that are out there and people doing their live streams and so on. You decide as a parent to take your children there. Well, then that's on you. Then you're the asshole.
Yeah, that's true, but also there's cognitive dissonance here. Yeah, really like that. If I do it, it's fine, but if others do, it's wrong. It's well edited here. Then from Markant, you can see how hypocritical they are. If I don't want kids filmed, if that's an issue, hey, there might also be people who film a child's face. Yeah, Markant didn't do that. I can't imagine it at all. But if others do it, I can't vouch for everyone.
Listen, but
then I won't take the kids with me. Then. Well,
Go over there. Now I ask you to please go back outside. We can do your press work from there. That's our assembly area, and I ask you to go there.
how impressed are you by Erwin's authority? So,
oh my, this is our demo area, and there are so many people here. With this mass turnout, the people here are supporting us with millions, yes, with hearts burning, yes, like fire, to the new seizure of power. Dude, honestly, sure, Markant is definitely provocative. Yeah, sure, it's also very dangerous to get involved in those kinds of structures. Well, who knows what kind of weirdos, if they could do whatever they wanted, would go after him and even beat him up. He's really got guts and cojones, and I can only take my hat off to that. But he's polite, he's friendly, and whether he's joining in and asking questions, that would actually be a gift for a truly confident political group. Yeah, you should really put someone there. Not necessarily a genius like our Erwin here, but someone who can answer the questions eloquently and politely. Yeah, and who presents the image they apparently have in their minds. They're the good ones, they're the great ones, they're the elite. Yeah, and not like...
Which is what extremists, they also can't do that while they're going around in their rage. So if Kant had said, yes, there are children here and so on, you could have reacted and said, yes, I'm not a fan of that either. We will evaluate that afterwards. We will talk to the participants about it. We will discuss it and so on. To show a bit of human concession, and say, I
wouldn't go that far. Extremists can't deviate even a jot, not even a millimeter from their positions. No, I would. Back then, if I were the organizer, I would have said, I always watch your videos. We see a lot of interesting things there. Come on, let's have a conversation. Just stay here with me. I'm here all day to answer your questions. Yes, there are children present. Yes, but you also support the right to make your own decisions. Yes, and if the parents decide to bring their children along, I wouldn't want to forbid them from doing that, because how dictatorial would that seem? You might then say, see, the fascists don't allow any personal freedom. No, listen, what should I do now? Either way, I look stupid. You can say so many things. You can go in there like that and you can use it as a propaganda stage. Yeah. Instead, they put Erwin there, who already gets very pissed. And now they're talking about our assembly area and violence, which doesn't even exist. And it's their fault, man. But
So if they
have better staff, we can be grateful. So
before we get to Erwin's fraud, it's what I once. You're a Free Saxons candidate, but we're National Democratic Party gear. So are you National Democratic Party too? How does that work? How can that be reconciled? So either you're in the party, the Free Saxons, or you're now with the National Democratic Party, the Homeland. What's going on here?
No, that's exactly what I meant. The National Democratic Party, which has now renamed itself to the Homeland, has realized that as a party they no longer have a reason to exist and that even their own people are leaving them. That the voters don't need them because there are more attractive alternatives. FD is leading in Saxony and also the Free Saxons, who are seeing successes there that would never have been possible under the National Democratic Party label. That's why the National Democratic Party has changed its approach and said, we don't want to be a regular party anymore that mainly focuses on elections and not the fight for the parliaments, but we want to form a network. We want to build bridges in the pre-political sphere to other national groups and movements, and in this way we want to make our contribution in the more pre-political sphere, so that the national idea is carried forward, so that alliances for action can be formed in which we can also independently exert influence with our worldview. And that's exactly what we're doing here now, the Free Saxons and those who are Heimat, basically. Yeah, the same old story. I'll just say it like it is. It's the same people. There's now a high density of personal unions also among the officials. Like I said, the chairman of Heimat is also an official of the Free Saxons. There's not a bit of difference between them. And the self-understanding of people like our Erwin isn't, I'm active for a party, the party is important to me. Rather, the fight for Germany must be carried out with all available means. It doesn't matter if we call ourselves Free Saxons, Catholic Pigeon Breeders Association, or True Patriots. The point is that we hold our events and spread our propaganda.
Excellent. I'll let Erwin run for a bit, then we'll come right away.
Don't come back. I want you to go there, but you can't enter the press from both sides. I can do it. No, you can't do that. Regroup. Wait, what's happening? Is it over? We registered here. This is our area. You can't just come in and act wildly.
What?
After police form again. So.
Well, back then it was still wild. But first you have to say, and actually...
I'll briefly correct Erwin, which may help viewers unfamiliar with demos. And when you register a demonstration, it's basically open to everyone to participate because it's a public gathering. If you want to have control over who... If you want to have control over who attends a meeting, you need to register it as an internal meeting. You have the right to decide who can come in and who cannot. At a public event, anyone is allowed to come at first. And then if you want to exclude someone, there has to be a reason for it. They have to pose a danger. They have to be a troublemaker. Then you can ask the police to issue someone a restraining order and exclude them from the assembly. If he says he could now decide who walks along where and how, that's just not right. You can, with stewards, basically implement conditions that have been agreed upon together with the assembly authority, but everything else is based on voluntariness. Well, so he also means our demo, our rules, we can do whatever we want. He can walk around here. You're just uninformed. You don't have to tell him that. Maybe you should educate yourself and learn more about assembly law. Would you like to say...
Should always give a hint. Explain it briefly. Thank you for the input. That was short. And Free Saxon, not in...
Others spend semesters learning to do that, not just a short time.
That's true. Free Saxon. Stefan Trautmann convicted of fraud. I'm somewhat surprised. The right-wing extremist activist illegally received social benefits by failing to report his job with the Free Saxons. Stefan Trautmann, 37, is a city councillor in Durban for the Free Saxons, which is also his main job, employed by the far-right splinter group. As a welfare recipient, he failed to report his 2021 Saxony employment contract to the job center. I didn't want to buy this subscription, so I just didn't do it. That's still the video. Was there anything else about Erwin? But not only that happened, but also the good Erwin Stefan Trautmann was not only convicted of social fraud, attack on this train, but also before last year's Christopher Street Day in Dobeln, Saxony, butyric acid was spread at the meeting point. 2 men have now been fined. These are an AfD local politician and the Free Saxons official Stefan
Trautmann. How?
Freie Presse reports both men receive fines by penal order, likely in the 3-digit range, with daily rates for Fritz. Away, the 2 right-wing extremists reportedly withdrew their objection to the penal order.
Real decent men, real decent men.
Here you can see it. When he tries, then very conventional, down to earth, the doer.
The doer, yeah. What he does is throw butyric acid, attack people. Real doer, real doer. Here, Erwin. Sorry, Stefan. Stefan, I
have to keep saying it. And we also talked about this beforehand. Axel, I'm sorry people fall for those kinds of people. No, so that always makes it intangible for me. It's just like in politics, I have no place there anymore because of my past and actions, no matter how much I've changed, realized, or transformed. Do people believe in looking at these people? And I can only recommend it. Stefan Trautmann also still has a Facebook profile. Even there, he spread really nasty hate in all sorts of different ways. I think it was here that he said there was a stabbing someone. What repeated claims are being made? That Facebook profile has lots of arguments. Someone mentioned protection money extortion in Dubon, then Yoma and Mahmoud commented below. That's not true at all, and so on. So a lot is going on. With Stefan, Erwin, and now.
we have to say, I can still understand it on a human level when people who have problems fall for charismatics. Yes, if he's a politician now, yes, who presents extremism in a very friendly way, yes, who is actually a doer, who is active in the clubs. Those are all things where people let themselves be seduced, sometimes even gladly let themselves be seduced. But honestly, how dissatisfied do you have to be to vote for someone like Stefan Trautmann after you've experienced him once? Even if I were to support you now and say, here, the Free Saxons, they do it better, they'll solve my problems. We need to have someone like that in the city council, or even in the state parliament, or even as a district administrator. I see him walk there once and hear him speak once. Man, I'd rather burn my vote. Yeah, I'd rather vote for the Animal Protection Party and feel my vote is better spent there than on someone like him. And you really have to ask yourself how much dissatisfaction must have already grown in people's minds and hearts, like a cancerous tumor, that a guy like that even gets a single vote, and that a guy like that can actually enter any parliament. I disagree. Honestly, Philipp, I'd prefer 500 Philipp Schloffers in parliament who truly consider their vote, then think it over, than someone like Erwin who just rants and commits crimes, and then still tries to act like a clean-cut guy somehow. Shocking, really.
Just a moment. Let's quickly go into the video here.
They want a picture. I want in too. Can I be in the picture too? I just want to stand on the side here. Can I be in the picture too? There it is.
He's out and about with Erwin again, just like that. I also got this from the research team. B, you know him too, right? Well, here too you have to say that's a forbidden SS skull. Clearly visible, not covered up by Stefan Trautmann, which is of course illegal and has definitely been reported to the authorities. Or do you see?
Do you see it too? Which tradition is he aligning with? Yes, well, he is very deliberately placing himself in the tradition of mass murderers, of criminals. Yes, those who didn't stop at small children who were involved in murder. And he seems to be hyping that up, you know, that's really a whole different level, you know. When someone stands up and says, I'm a nationalist, or I'm here for Saxony, then starts spreading nonsense. Or if he stands up and aligns with SS tradition wearing the death's head, that's really bad.
Once again, props to the research team and also to B from X on Twitter. Here too, it must be said, so you know who you're voting for, our top candidates for Dublin. So, did these people go to the SS Memorial and march on February 8, 2025 in Budapest? Guys, you want to elect these people into a parliament, you want to elect them into a district council, you want to elect them into your local council. Axel, I'm sorry, well, you already said that very clearly earlier. Or not, but don't people watch this anymore and say, we don't give a damn? Yeah, then it's Waffen SS and Nazis, and it's just lost. It's just so...
I'm sorry about that. Either they don't care. A large part probably doesn't even know, because the kind of educational work we're doing here, what a research group like that uncovers, they don't even look at it because it's uninteresting to them anyway. That's the reality, unfortunately. The voter doesn't tend to learn about the candidates. He follows his emotions and says, she's saying what's really happening. They want to change something here. They have the same enemy image as I do, so I give them my vote. And then often they just don't give a damn if they're hardcore neo-Nazis, yeah. On the other hand, you have to say that many people are simply no longer sensitive or educated in this area. Jewish jokes are standard in German schoolyards. Yeah, anti-Semitism is spreading more and more throughout society. And yeah, along with that comes a secret. The people calculate. Yeah, thanks. To funk support. Well, bad mood, that's me. The reminds the people of Daimler that little bit of engineering they can do.
Yes, Axel, so we can also classify the picture on the right. A companion of Stefan Trautmann, Jessica Schultz down here. That's from the swastika flag, Free Saxons, and there's also a Free Saxons poster with the swastika flag. And look, Marco Gottschalk, we don't need to mention, we've also talked about the singer from Eudoxie. I also reacted to that once because, like I said, really, they're like sipping lukewarm water in the curve, so everyone there is slowly getting moldy in my fridge. More interesting. Yeah. And then you meet there Combat 18 with official Sandy Roski, martial arts group Knockout 51. And they put them on a poster. Axel.
Yeah, they don't care. And that's just the environment. Yeah, it's not an isolated case where you can say, oh, one slipped through, we didn't know anything about it. It's the environment that recruits the potential, which then walks around as activists. And even if the people from Heimat or Freie Sachsen act as organized or as bourgeois as they want, they can't say that anymore. I'm a Nazi, I'm a patriot. That's also a point where people really fall in love with the moment, but I'm not in love with the moment, I'm not in love with the moment, and they're right in the middle of it, not just on the sidelines.
Axel, that's why it's important to show this. I'll play it briefly before we finish.
Come on.
Erwin is doing it now. Stefan Trautmann is taking a selfie, then with Markant. That's real satire, right?
What is that supposed to be?
He really enjoys the attention. Yeah, you can see here, Mr. Trautmann really loves to show off. He really loves it here. I nudged him over to Bechtlein and said, look, that man over there, he was interested in us. And I told him he should leave the demo march, but he just wouldn't. They're even celebrating it. Yeah, they just want to provoke us. They're not people who are interested in leading a reasonable life free from hate, violence, and incitement. They live for this incitement. They live for their enemies. They live to be able to make a show of themselves at their expense. We're seeing this again. It's not surprising, but it's deeply sad.
I just did that. Oh, right. Oh.
Who?
Says, what kind of rule is that supposed to be? I'm not at the meeting.
I'm at the meeting. I'm not at the meeting.
This picture is hilarious, right? 2020.
Did someone Photoshop themselves in? Yes, back there. Come on.
That's actually done pretty funny, I think. I laughed my head off.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty funny.
You can just ask me. I'm here for my viewers. Should I sign another for you? Maybe it'll be valuable someday.
We'll do that too.
Where to? Maybe as a tattoo we could...
Maybe as a tattoo we could do it later. Okay.
I'll do it. I don't make any distinctions. Yeah, when people ask me about a difference...
Well, Axel, that was just supposed to be a short input. I can't stand it a second time. Regarding Stefan Trautmann, it's important to show these are the people you may want to elect in communities or parliaments. You're allowed to be dissatisfied with politics. You're allowed to be dissatisfied with politicians. But these people, you think they're for you. That they can somehow turn things for the better is, for me, completely detached from reality. So it's unimaginable for me. You can also see Max Schreber in the background. That these people would ever have a say is just so terrible.
Anyone who votes for them isn't making a statement against policies that cause dissatisfaction, but is actually screaming in the face of civilization. I want civilization. Anyone who votes for people like that is lost. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. And that's a whole different story. To get people like that into parliament somewhere, as if I were to say, out of dissatisfaction, I'll spoil my ballot or vote for some conservative party. That has nothing to do with politics. That has nothing to do with wanting to improve anything.
Axel, thank you so much for your time. We have to do a little bit of advertising. Axel's book is also out, of course. I Was the Hitler of Cologne. Check out the book. Support Axel however you can. But honestly, the best thing is to invite Axel sometime for prevention. Through the organization Extremist Laws, get in touch with him or contact Extremist Laws at info@extremistlaws.de. Great workshop and lectures by Axel in the sunshine. Contact Extremist Laws. I'll be there too, traveling. So now I've turned off the chat from my mind. My book is out now, of course. When this video comes out, there will also be an audiobook. It's linked below. Feel free to let me know what you think about it. I'm very happy with the audiobook. It was read beautifully. Hate Leads to Violence at King or Kong's with a signature. Otherwise, with Philip, you get 10% off at B-Bandit. Thank you to everyone who supports this at the B-Bandits. Thank you, much respect. And of course also ZEG Plus with Philip 10. Thank you. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Feel free to comment and send us videos you'd like us to react to. And then Axel, I'll keep it brief and send an ahoy from the coast. Thank you so much for your time. And we say over and out.